Hey friends, have you ever looked up at the stars and thought, what's even going on out there? Well, today I'm giving you 12 of the weirdest and coolest facts about the universe. Some of them sound totally fake, but they're 100% real. We're talking about mind-bending stuff like planets where it rains glass sideways, stars heavier than you can possibly imagine, and even the possibility that our entire universe is basically one giant hologram. Yeah, you heard that right. So, buckle up, space cadets, because we're about to blast off on a journey to the edge of knowledge. Get ready for your brain to go supernova. Let's go! Okay, first up, let's talk about the universe itself. Did you know it's constantly getting bigger? I'm not just talking about new stars being born here and there. I mean, the actual fabric of space is stretching out like a giant balloon being inflated. And get this, it's not just expanding, it's accelerating. That means it's getting bigger, faster and faster all the time. It's kind of like when you try to outrun your problems, but they just keep multiplying, you know? Now this expansion has some pretty wild implications. Billions of years from now, the galaxies we see today will be so far away from us that they'll be incredibly faint, maybe even invisible, even with super powerful telescopes. It's kind of a bummer when you think about it. Future generations might not get to enjoy the same cosmic light show we get to see every night. So, we've established that the universe is huge, right? But here's the thing, most of it is completely invisible to us. Scientists call this mysterious stuff dark matter, and it's seriously messing with our understanding of, well, everything. Here's the deal, we can't see dark matter, we can't touch it, and we don't even know what it's made of, but we know it's out there because of the way it affects the gravity of galaxies. It's like the universe is playing a giant game of cosmic hide-and-seek, and dark matter is winning. Some scientists believe that dark matter makes up a whopping 85% of all the matter in the universe. That means all the stars, planets, and galaxies we can see, that's just the tip of the cosmic iceberg. It's kind of humbling, right? To think that we're just floating around in a sea of something we can barely even comprehend. Alright, let's talk about some of the crazy objects we see in the universe, like neutron stars. These bad boys are the leftovers of massive stars that have gone supernova. Basically, a giant star explosion. Now, neutron stars are tiny compared to regular stars, maybe the size of a city, but don't let that fool you. They're so incredibly dense that a single teaspoon of neutron star material would weigh as much as Mount Everest. Can you imagine trying to lift that? Talk about a workout. Even the Hulk would be like, nope, I'm good. Scientists believe that the pressure inside a neutron star is so intense that it actually squeezes protons and electrons together, forming neutrons. That's how they get their name. Okay, get ready for this one because it's a real head-scratcher. Deep in the heart of our Milky Way galaxy, there's a giant cloud of gas and dust that, get this, smells like rum. I'm not kidding. It's called Sagittarius B2, and it contains ethyl formate, which is the same chemical compound that gives raspberries their flavor and rum its distinctive smell. So, basically, there's a giant cloud of space booze just hanging out in our galaxy. Who knows? Maybe that's where all the missing socks go after they disappear from the dryer. Just kidding, or am I? But seriously, can you imagine flying through that cloud? It'd be like the best and probably last cocktail party ever. Alright, let's talk about size for a second. We all know the sun is huge, right? It's what, like 93 million miles away and still takes up a massive chunk of the sky? But compared to some stars out there, our sun is practically a speck of dust. I'm talking about stars like UY Scuti, the largest known star in the observable universe. This thing is so mind-bogglingly big that if we plopped it down where our sun is right now, it would swallow up Mercury, Venus, Earth, even Mars wouldn't stand a chance. Jupiter and Saturn would be sweating bullets too, let me tell you. So, bless you, UY Scuti, but please stay over there in your corner of the galaxy. We're good. Alright, let's talk about planets for a bit. We all know Venus as Earth's evil twin, right? Super hot, toxic atmosphere, the works. But did you know that on Venus, a single day is actually longer than a year? Yeah, you heard that right. Venus spins so slowly on its axis, the opposite direction of Earth, by the way, that it takes longer to rotate once than it does to orbit the sun. Imagine how confusing that would be. You'd have a birthday every 225 Earth days, but the sun would only rise and set once every 117 Earth days. Talk about a long day at the office. Okay, who here likes diamonds? I mean, who doesn't, right? Well, get this, there's a planet out there called 55 Cancri E that's practically made of the stuff. This blinged-out planet is twice the size of Earth and has a mass 8 times greater, but here's the kicker. It orbits a star called 55 Cancri, which is much brighter and hotter than our Sun. Now because 55 Cancri e is so close to its star and under such intense pressure, scientists believe that the carbon atoms in its interior have bonded together to form, you guessed it, a giant diamond. We're talking trillions upon trillions of dollars worth of diamonds here, people. If we could only get our hands on it. Of course, there's the whole melting into a puddle of goo thing we'd have to worry about. But hey, a space explorer can dream, right? We've all heard that in space, no one can hear you scream. And that's true, because there's no air in space for sound waves to travel through. But that doesn't mean space is completely silent. With the right equipment, we can actually listen to the radio waves emitted by stars, planets, and even black holes. These radio waves are converted into sound waves that we can hear, and let me tell you, space has its own kind of music. Pulsars, which are rapidly spinning neutron stars, emit radio waves that sound like a cosmic heartbeat. Black holes, on the other hand, produce a deep, rumbling sound as they devour matter. It's kind of eerie, but also incredibly cool to think that we can listen in on the universe's symphony. Alright, let's talk about time travel, or at least something close to it. One of the weirdest things about space is that time itself behaves differently up there. According to Einstein's theory of relativity, time slows down as you approach the speed of light. It's called time dilation, and it means that astronauts on the International Space Station actually age a tiny bit slower than us folks stuck on Earth. Now we're talking about fractions of a second here, not exactly Back to the Future stuff. But it's still pretty wild to think that going to space is like hitting the pause button on aging, even if it's just for a little bit. Sign me up. Okay, remember how I mentioned Venus was a bit of a rough place to live? Well, it's got nothing on HD 18973b. This exoplanet, that's a planet outside our solar system, is about 63 light-years away, and it's home to some of the most extreme weather in the known universe. For starters, the temperature on HD 18973b hovers around 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit. But that's not even the worst part. The planet also experiences winds that whip around at over 5,400 miles per hour. And if that wasn't bad enough, it also rains glass. Sideways. Yeah, you heard that right. The planet's atmosphere contains silicates, which condense into tiny glass shards that are then whipped around by those insane winds. So yeah, HD 18973b is definitely not winning any awards for most hospitable planet anytime soon. Alright, let's cool things down a bit. Literally, when we think of the coldest places in the universe, we usually think of, well, space, right? And it's true, space is really, really cold with an average temperature of about minus 455 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's the thing, the coldest place in the entire universe isn't actually in space. It's right here on Earth. Scientists at MIT were able to cool a cloud of sodium atoms to a fraction of a degree above absolute zero. That's minus 459.67 degrees Fahrenheit, the lowest temperature theoretically possible. They did it using lasers to slow down the atoms until they were practically motionless. Why did they do it? Well, mostly because they could, but also because studying matter at such extreme temperatures can help us unlock some of the universe's biggest mysteries. Okay, get ready to have your mind blown one last time. Some physicists believe that our universe might be a hologram. No, I'm not kidding. Now before you start thinking we're all living in the Matrix, hear me out. The holographic principle suggests that all the information about our three-dimensional universe might actually be encoded on a two-dimensional surface at the edge of the universe, kind of like a giant cosmic movie projector. So, in a way, what we perceive as reality might just be a projection of this information. It's a mind-bending concept and it's still just a theory, but it's one that has some serious scientific backing. I mean, think about it. What if everything we see, touch, and feel is just a super realistic 3D movie? It's enough to make you question everything you thought you knew about the universe. Mind equals blown, right? If you like these facts, hit that like button like a meteor and subscribe for more. The universe is weird, and that's what makes it awesome. See you in the next one.